All right, guys, today we're going to talk about a topic that, doesn't have a lot of coverage I would find on, that I could find on YouTube, but that is how do you set up an RESP? So it's going to be a bit of a longer video today. I recently opened an RESP up for my son, who's now 5 months old. And so I decided to record my screen and kind of do like a step-by-step walkthrough. So today, guys, I'm going to open a Questwealth account, which is the managed portfolio type of account from Questrade. I figured this might be where a lot of people start because it's pretty automated and you don't have to think about it too much. But I've left a lot of chapters and links in the description to let you guys skip to the part you may want to be looking for, because I'm going to cover a lot. I'm going to cover like what an RESP is, and then the different types of Questwealth portfolios and how they fit you into a portfolio. We're going to go through the questionnaire and stuff like that too. And then I'm going to jump into the tutorial, and during the tutorial I talk about the different types of RESPs and the pros and cons of those. So if you want to jump to the how-to section, just click on the chapter in the description or in the timeline of this video. So like I said, we are opening a Questwealth portfolio. In this particular scenario with my child being under 18, if I put in $2,500, I will get a $500 match from the government as well. So I've already I know like what my horizon line is. It's like 18 years. I'm going to be putting in like $50 a week for 50 weeks of the year. That's how I'm going to set this up. And yeah, it should just be very automated. If you guys don't have a Questrade account and you want to open one of these up and follow along, please click that link. I do get a kickback, but it also gives you $10,000 of a Questwealth portfolio that will be managed free of fees. All right, so let's get to it.
Step by step, ooh baby.
All right, so what is an RESP? It's a registered education savings plan, and you use it to save up for education, usually for a child or a minor, but it can also be used for adults. The adults just don't get the match from the government. So this account uses after-tax dollars, and if it's being used for a child under 17, the government matches 20% of contributions up to $2,500. So if you put in $2,500, you will get $500 in free money, baby. The catch is that it has to be used for education. And if it's not used for education, the grants given by the government go back to the government, and then the money that you have kind of put in comes back to you, but any of the capital gains of that money will now be subject to tax, just like a regular non-tax sheltered account. I'm going to talk a little bit about the two main types, which is the individual and family plan, but I'll do that during the tutorial. So I'm just going to put up my my screen here and show you guys as I go through kind of all this information. So this is the main page from Questrade, and you have the tab here for Questwealth portfolios. We're going to talk about all of these kind of subcategories right away here, but I just thought I'd give a introduction here. So in features, this kind of tells you they're actively managed portfolios. You're paying a small fee to Questrade to do the management for you. It'll walk you through step by step how to find the right accounts. You just kind of have to go through the motions, and you can see here there are lots of different types of accounts. What we're doing today is an RESP, so there's the RESP and family RESP. I'm gonna open a family RESP, but I'll talk about that a little bit later in the tutorial. You can see here there's also different types of risk tolerances. They'll put you through a survey to figure out what your risk tolerance is and fit you with the appropriate type of portfolio for that. So we'll explore portfolios. Scrolling down here a little bit, you can see they range from aggressive to conservative, and you can actually look by clicking these tabs at which one, the performance of each one and what it looks like. But essentially, aggressives are more volatile, but over time go up more. Conservative is the opposite, less volatile, but don't seem to appreciate quite as much. You can look at the holdings. And there's different types of holding setups depending on the size of the account that you open with them. But this is all just good information to go through before you open your account, just so you know what you're getting into. There's also some details on, SRI, or socially responsible investing. If you're interested in that, there's a whole page here on Questrade, and then they have their own types of portfolios that have all had vetted companies only. There's a little bit of a different sort of makeup and behavior and performance for these. I won't get into that too much, but it's the same kind of page. You can go in and look at what the holdings are. There again are your fees, anywhere from 0.25 to 0.2%, depending on the balance that you hold in this account. So very competitive, probably a whole percent or more cheaper than the banks. Remember, I used to be in a mutual fund at a bank and I was paying 2.5%. So to pay 0.2% or 0.25 is really good. So if you don't already have an account, you can go and create one at this page here. Now, when you're done and you're in your account, you'll click the Add Account button. Here are the most popular ones that people open, but we want to see more account types and open one for education, which is for the family account. Now, the difference between these two, I'll just explain really quickly right now, is that an individual account is for a single child, or usually a child maybe perhaps isn't related to you. There's only one beneficiary and there's a contribution limit of $50,000. So you can't contribute more than that. This can be for an adult as well, but like I said before, you don't get that assistance from the government if you open one for an adult. Now, the one we're gonna open is a family plan. It's for having more than one child in the same family. You can have multiple beneficiaries for a single account. And you do have a limit of that 50K per beneficiary, but this gives you some flexibility in case not, all of your kids go to post-secondary or use it for education. So that's why I'm gonna open this. I only have one kid right now, but the plan is to have more, so this will just avoid having more and more accounts in the future, and I'll just have all of that in one place. Now, it's worth also noting that a group plan, like a group RESP, is also a different vehicle. It's also known as a scholarship plan, and it's not on Questrade, but this is usually administered by like a group plan dealer, and it's beyond the scope of this video. So we'll just go ahead and click the RESP for the Family Registered Education Plan and continue. So we'll start the questionnaire, and this is going to tell us, what kind of portfolio we should be in. So I'm filling out my date of birth, filling out what my annual income is, net worth. I've blocked out some of these just, for privacy. And then this page tells you like what type of investment vehicles are you familiar with. So I'm clicking the bottom one. Again, fill this out the way that you would personally do it. You don't necessarily want to get the same result I am. This is trying to get the best fit for you. I'm looking for maximum asset growth and bound by any investment restrictions, no. So I click continue. My time horizon is going to be, when Nick goes to college. So that's about 18 years from now. So I'm going to click that 15 years and above. And what do I consider myself as like investment knowledge? I don't know if I'm an expert yet. I would probably consider myself, fairly knowledgeable. Now here are some personal questions, like what would you do if your portfolio decreased in 10%? I would go, I'm like that. I go, I'm time to buy. I would scrounge up money to try and buy more. Here are some more portfolio scenarios, and what would you do in these scenarios? So I kind of click what I personally would pick. Now you have the option again to make this a socially responsible portfolio if you want. It's telling me now I'm being put into the higher risk type of portfolio based on my answers, which is fine. Here it will talk a little bit about the management fees, how much they are per month based on a $20,000 portfolio. Some of the holdings, you can go and look at, historical performance, and then it kind of asks you, are you happy with this portfolio? And I am, and I kind of know this, so I say okay. Again, selecting the account type. I'm not sure why they ask you this twice, but I go down and find the education, and I'm selecting the family education savings plan. Click continue, and there you go. So now we're a little bit further in the progress. Now let's set up the account, and now we're gonna go step by step and just fulfill all these obligations that they want us. So no, I'm going to be the only person subscribing to this account. What's my minimum deposit? I'm going to fill that out. Plan to terminate the RESP is going to be, a little bit past Nick's age that he goes to school. So this is kind of arbitrary. So I'm just picking what I think right now. And then when do you plan to stop contributing? Probably, around that same time. I just picked September in 2038. Sure, why not? A little bit before that. Do you want Questrade to apply for the government-funded benefits? Always click yes, because if you're not eligible, they'll just tell you. And then would you like to refuse either of these government-funded benefits? And I don't. They may as well apply on your behalf. You'll have to fill something out, but then if you're eligible for the free cash, why not take it? So click continue. Consent and communication. Here they're going to say like what language do you want your mail sent to you in? English, that's easy. RESP beneficiary. So this is where you're filling in the child's name, so I'm putting that in. So here you'll also declare, their relationship to you, date of birth, that kind of thing. Are you the parent's beneficiary, legal guardian? Yes. Are you the beneficiary's primary caregiver? Yes. You can fill in your address. So this is all just personal information you would kind of just fill in on your own. Click continue. Putting in the social insurance number. I'm obviously not going to share that one, so we'll just put in your SIN number and we'll continue. Finally, with allocation, if you had multiple children, this is where you decide, if you're splitting this 50-50 or how this would normally happen. Now, this is just, you can update this at any time, but I only have the one kid, so it's obviously 100% going to him right now. Finally, persons with financial interest. So this part is if you want to have someone else have control over this account, you could fill it out there. I'm just putting no for now. And then here are the agreements. And I'll start with the first one. Absolutely make sure you read all of these, but the accounts agreement is basically, saying Questrade is not an advisor. You're going to pay any of the fees that you owe Questrade. There's a little bit that talks there about, that markets are volatile. There's even a few things about options if you guys are interested in that. Relationship disclosure, again, I'm skipping through this quickly, but it's going to just talk about the services provided by Questrade, ways to communicate with you, etc. Then finally, the managed account disclosure. That is basically saying that you'll try to keep Questrade informed if your situation changes. Talks a little bit about fees, accounts and how they operate. Again, go through these 3 forms in detail. I'm just skipping through them to make the tutorial quicker, okay? After that's done, you click done. And now there are some forms to e-sign, so we'll click the e-sign button in step 2. And for this part, you get a DocuSign which comes up. And these are more of some of the same kinds of agreements. You're going to go through, obviously read this. It's a lot of the same, do you understand what you're doing? You're okay with us managing your money on your behalf, etc. That kind of thing. You go through, put your signature electronically, click the finish button, and that one is fairly straightforward. Next, you'll jump down to step 3, where you have to upload some government issued photo ID of some kind. So if you click that, I'm going to upload myself. I'm going to upload probably a driver's license is going to be the ID. So I'll click upload. I'm going to put in the name. So I'm putting driver's license. Hit browse. I'm going to browse to that file, just upload it, all good. It'll take Questrade a couple days to look at it anyway. The next part, you're going to have to download some forms. So I'm going to click this button to download all the forms. This one is, again, a different form of the agreements. You're going to have to kind of read through these, confirm that you understand them. They're a lot of the same things we've already signed off on. Do you understand how the market works? Are you okay with us managing this for you? What I would do is print these off and then sign them and scan them and send them back, which is what I ended up doing. The other forms you'll also find here are the forms like this one here is an application for that government grant and what they will apply on your behalf for. So it's just a matter of filling those out by hand and then uploading them again. And this is where you upload them. I separated them out and I put here each document. So statement of acceptance, I browse to the scanned file, I upload it, and I do this 3 times for each of the forms. It's going to take Questrade a few days to look at those, so they'll kind of be pending for a bit, but let's set up the pre-authorized deposits on this account while we wait. So if you're going to do a pre-authorized account, you go to this first option. If you're transferring an account over, you go to the last option, just a tip, but we'll click the top one. I'm going to fill out my bank information. Is already kind of pre-populated, and it's the RESP that we're filling out. I'm putting in $2,500. This will be a one-time thing, and I'm just going to pick a date for the withdrawal, and there we go. Why not? Confirm. And you confirm one more time. And it says the setup's complete. It's going to take a couple days. Perfect. I already got an email from Questrade there when that is done. So for now, that is basically it. We just play the waiting game and pay attention to your email for any updates from Questrade. So what should happen is you'll get an email from Questrade when your money has successfully come over and your account is getting ready to be set up. And what you might see is the money sitting in that Questrade account as cash for a little bit. Questrade, I think, picks like the first week of the month for them to take your cash and distribute it every month and buy up all those ETFs and all those investments. So your money may sit there for a little bit as cash, but sure enough, if you wait long enough, it'll get distributed appropriately. Anyways, guys, I hope this tutorial has helped you. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If there's something else in Questrade you guys want to see, I've recorded setting up like self-directed accounts, TFSAs, and that kind of thing. Let me know in the comments. I don't mind, sharing the screen recordings. I kind of just want to see how these tutorials sort of do, and if you guys find them useful. If you do, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys want more. Otherwise, have a great week. Spread the wealth, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.